Chapter 201. Perturbation of Heart. After buying clothes, Carol Wright asked the shop assistant to take the clothes back to the car downstairs. She held onto her arm and intimately continued to stroll with her. The two of them entered the men's clothing store. Laura was a bit puzzled. Didn't she get into an argument with Second Master? Why was she even coming to see men's clothes? However, she simply grabbed a blue suit and asked, "Miss Green, what do you think about this suit?" She asked, "If Second Master wears it, will it make his skin a little darker?" "I'm not asking for Jack. What do you think if William were to wear this set? What do you think?" Her heart tightened as she looked at her. She wanted to buy clothes for William Walton, or in front of William Walton's girlfriend. Seeing that she did not say anything, Carol Wright said, "I think it should be good." She handed the set to the shop assistant and selected 3 more sets. All 3 sets were given to the waiter as a token of her concern. She felt depressed in her heart. Was she overthinking it? Is it normal for a sister-in-law to buy clothes for her brother-in-law? The point was, she had more than one brother-in-law, she had 2. Exiting the men's clothing store, Carol Wright said that she wanted to drink fresh fruit juice. When the two of them walked into the fruit juice shop, Carol Wright looked at her and asked, "Miss Green, what do you want to drink?" She took a glance at the shop. It was the popular drink store. However, this shop was different from the other shops. There were many people who came to take photos and buy less. As for the reason, too expensive. The cheapest peach juice was $80. As for the most expensive juice, it was said to cost over $1,000. Just as she was deep in her thoughts, she heard Carol Wright say, "I want a glass of cherry juice, Miss Green. What about you?" She pursed her lips in a gentle manner and said, "I want to drink mango juice." "You like mangoes?" "Yes. I used to love eating poplars, but then I found out Jack likes to eat cherries. Slowly, I changed along with their tastes. After so many years, their tastes have never changed back. Sometimes I think that custom is really a scary thing. Indeed, there are no unchangeable preferences in this world. I also heard from William that he used to like eating cherries. No, he also likes to eat now. His taste has changed now, and he likes to eat mango with me. So I feel that what you said, Miss Wright, is right. Habit is scarier than preference, and this is also the reason why I like William Walton. Although he is high and mighty in the eyes of others, he is willing to change it for me. This is very touching." "No way. There's no mistake." Laura accepted the juice and took out her cell phone to pay. Seeing that, Carol Wright immediately said, "Let me do it." She said, "Miss Wright, let me do it." "How can I accept this?" "There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm a person with a job after all, so I can afford to buy a cup of juice." She giggled as she put her phone back into her bag, took a sip of juice, and said to as she walked, "William Walton is good at everything, but he always says that if I don't spend his money, then I just don't love him. But Miss Wright, you should also help me judge. I have good hands and feet. I'm not a cripple, so why should I spend a man's money, right?" Laura looked at her innocently with a warm expression, then squinted her eyes with a smile. Carol Wright frowned slightly. She had always thought that Laura was a girl with a very soft personality, but she never thought that. So it turned out that she wasn't soft at all. Not only was she not soft, she even carried a sharp claw and retaliated. By the time the two of them got home, it was already lunchtime. When Carol Wright got off the car, she saw that William Walton's car was also at home. Her face was filled with pleasant surprise as she said to her, "William has returned." After seeing her pleasantly surprised expression, the corner of her lips curved up in a faint smile. That's right. Her brother-in-law had returned. As his sister-in-law, she was even more happy than her girlfriend. Weird, Carol Wright clearly didn't do anything. When she was with Carol Wright, she felt very unhappy. She had never been jealous of a woman because of a man. It was the first time. Was this the feeling of jealousy? She didn't like to worry about gains and losses and loathe herself. The two of them entered the house. The butler stepped forward and said, "Second Madam, Miss Green, you two are back." "What about William?" Carol Wright asked. "Lord Third is in the study." Carol Wright pursed her lips. "Then I'll go to the study room and look for him." She turned to Butler and said, "I'll go upstairs to change first." Carol Wright knocked on the door and entered the study. Seeing that she had come, William Walton raised his eyebrows. "Didn't you go shopping with Laura?" "We came back," she smiled. "Why did you come back so early?" "I'm done. Where's Laura?" Carol Wright pointed to the floor above. "Miss Green will go upstairs to change first." William Walton got up. "Then I'll go upstairs to look for her." He walked past her and was about to leave when she grabbed his wrist. "Why are you avoiding me?" William Walton looked at her with an indifferent expression. "I'm hiding from you?" "No." "Yes. In the morning, I came to look for you for breakfast. In the end, you said that you were going to the company. Now. That's because you're thinking too much. I did have something to do in the morning, but now I'm going up to see my girlfriend. There's nothing wrong with that, right?" Carol Wright looked at him, lowered her eyes, and slowly retracted his hand. William Walton opened the door and went out. He went upstairs to his room, where she sat on the mat by the window and stared out. William Walton walked over. Only then did she turn around to look at him with a touch of sadness in her eyes. He leaned over and sat down across from her. "What's the matter?" She lightly shook her head. Nothing. How could it be nothing? I can clearly see the words in a bad mood on your face. It's really nothing. Why did you come upstairs instead of accompanying Miss Wright? Why should I accompany her? Accompanying you is what I should do. She looked at him warmly and hesitated for a moment. Then she asked, William Walton, what did you say? Do men like to lie? William Walton raised his eyebrows and stared at her face for a long time. Your words? Are you trying to target me? What did I do to make you misunderstand? Before she could say anything, there was a knock on the door, followed by Carol Wright's voice. William. Miss Green, may I come in for a moment? There's something I need to bring in for you. William Walton said, Come in. Carol Wright pushed open the door and entered, holding on to 4 sets of male attire. Upon seeing this, she frowned, and her expression became slightly cold. Just as she was about to leave, she heard Carol Wright say, William, Miss Green bought 4 sets of clothes for you today. I brought them up for you, so try them in a bit and see if you like them. Carol Wright said, as she pursed her lips into a smile. She bought it? Chapter 202. Why did you lie? William Walton looked at her and rubbed her head. Oh, my little wild cat, is he so considerate? Carol Wright's face tightened. She felt embarrassed. She blushed. This man, how could he flirt around? The way he said it made others feel awkward. I didn't buy it. How can I afford such expensive clothes? Miss Wright bought them. Carol Wright quickly said. You picked the style. Even if you bought it, William, do you think I am right? William Walton looked at her. The money spent by everyone in Walton family was earned by me, so as long as you pick it, I'll consider it as yours. Originally, he was so happy. She shouldn't have splashed water on him, but she was displeased at the thought of him wearing clothes bought by other women in her name. I didn't choose the style. When I went out, I never thought of buying clothes for you. This was indeed bought for you by Miss Wright. The person you should be thanking wasn't me. Carol Wright lowered her eyes, looking very sad. Miss Green, are you angry? I'm sorry, I meant to. I just wanted to help you and William, but I didn't think that it would make you unhappy. Miss Wright, I'm not angry at you. I just feel that it's not something I do. I have no reason to ask for credit. You were the one who bought the clothes, so how can I say that I bought them myself? Carol Wright nodded and said guiltily, It's my fault. I just thought that if a girlfriend gave her boyfriend a present, her boyfriend would be very happy, so I took the initiative to help you. Thank you for your kind intentions. I understand your reasoning, but this gift should at least be chosen by your girlfriend. Since you chose this gift, it can't be considered a gift from me, can it? She nodded guiltily at Laura Green, then looked at William Walton. Miss Green is right, I'm sorry. I've messed up your mood. William, go ahead and chat with Miss Green. I'm tired. I'll go back to my place to rest. She turned and walked away with her head bowed. She was clearly only speaking the truth. But why did Carol Wright's dejected look as if she had done something wrong? William Walton stared at Laura Green's face and did not say anything for a long time. Her eyes swept over him. What do you want to say? I offended Carol Wright? Are you disappointed? I want to know why you're in such a bad mood. I just don't think I picked this suit. I shouldn't be lying. It's a good thing. She's helping you improve our relationship. She let out a breath. If I told you not to look at me anymore because it's for your own good, would you accept my good intentions? I know how she feels about you. And now that she bought you clothes, she wants you to wear them in my name. How can she be helping me? It's clearly me helping her, and I'm helping you guys get together. She looked at him with a pair of sharp eyes and was very angry. William Walton finally understood why she was so angry, and laughed speechlessly. I understand what you mean. You're jealous, and I like to see you jealous anyway. However, you don't have to make things sound so bad. I just want to have fun with you. What does this have to do with me being jealous? She replied. Can you not associate everything with being jealous? Then why don't you want me to wear clothes bought by another woman? She pointed to the clothes on the bed. The clothes are right there. You can wear them however you want. I won't stop you. William Walton raised his eyebrows, turned around, and walked to the bedside. Watching him pick up his clothes, she clenched her fists tightly and stared at him. This bastard. He dared to put on these clothes and give it a try. William Walton took all of his clothes and threw them on the trash can. She was stunned for a moment. New clothes were just lost like that? He turned around and walked back to the window. I don't wear the clothes that other women buy. I only wear the clothes that you bought. She swallowed her saliva, she snorted, and looked away. Who wants to buy clothes for you? William Walton bent his body slightly and whispered into her ear. I know, you don't want me to wear clothes. It's because you like to see me naked. She raised her hand and slapped his arm. William Walton could not help but laugh. You want to murder your husband? I still have to take my life to kill you. I just want to seal your mouth so that you won't speak any more nonsense. She stared at him. The unhappiness in her heart just now had been completely wiped out by him. William Walton moved his face closer to her and pointed at his own mouth. Come, it's best if you use your mouth to stop my mouth. William Walton, if others were to know of your current look, the overbearing image of you as the CEO in others' eyes will completely disappear. Therefore, in order to keep my image, I will never let anyone other than you see me in such a state. This image only belongs to you, Laura. She smiled in a speechless manner. It only belonged to her? Who knew if it was true or false? Perhaps in the future, a second Laura would appear around him, and a third one might appear around him. Just now, is my tone of voice with Miss Wright not good? She raised her head to look at him. When Miss Wright left, she seemed a little sad. Oh, you're worried when she's sad? But why aren't you worried when I'm sad? I'm jealous. She frowned. Why are you jealous with her? If I allow you to be jealous, then won't I be unhappy? Laura, I found out that you are a double standard. Forget it, I don't want to discuss this with you anymore. In any case, he was reasonable. She stood up from the window. Go down and eat. It's time to eat. I'll apologize to Miss Wright. She is not eating at our place. I have already sent the butler to call her chef. She will eat by her own. She was curious. Why? Didn't you have a nice time together this morning? Her tone was sour. Could it be that when she was around, he did not meet with Carol Wright? He looked at her, confused. Who told you I ate with Carol this morning? Does it matter who said it? If you don't want people to know, don't do it yourself. Tell me, who told you? William Walton repeated himself. She said, Miss Wright said so. William Walton was quiet for a moment. He did not say a word. What was Carol doing? Why did she lie? There was a hint of coldness in his eyes. What he hated the most was women playing tricks. How could she not know that? Yet she lied in front of Laura. Looking at William Walton's expression, she scratched her forehead. Shouldn't she mention this matter? She pouted and walked towards the door. I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Chapter 2-3 A Wager. William Walton did not say much and followed her downstairs. Seeing that Carol Wright really did not come over to eat, she did not say much in front of the butler and the auntie. After strolling for the whole morning, she was really hungry. As she was drinking the water, she suddenly thought of the cherry juice she bought for Carol Wright that she spent $400 on. She said in all seriousness, William Walton, I need you to reimburse me a ticket. William Walton raised his eyebrows. Hand it over, don't even mention one, I will take all 10 of them. In the future, if you can go out and spend money if you have nothing else to do, I will be happy. After all, isn't the reason I am earning money to make my family happy? She blushed and said, Can you go further than that? She pouted her lips. Today, when I accompanied Miss Wright out for a stroll, the two of us bought 2 cups of fruit juice. That fruit juice is too expensive, because I am accompanying your Walton family's daughter-in-law. I feel that you have to pay for the Miss Wright's fruit juice money. Nope. She stared at him. Why didn't you give money to me? That's your sister-in-law. Mine is yours. I only reimburse the part that belongs to you because yours is mine. Then forget it. Isn't it just $400? I'll bear it myself. William Walton glanced at her. This woman must be angry at him on purpose. Behind him, the butler lowered his eyes and silently suppressed his laughter. His third master had also met his match. After lunch, she returned to her room to take a nap. William Walton called the butler into the study room. He asked, Did Carol say anything to Laura at breakfast this morning? Hearing William Walton's words, the butler immediately understood. He did not dare lie in front of William Walton, so he told him the truth. Second Madam told Miss Green that you went to eat together with her this morning, but halfway through the meal, you received a phone call saying that you had business with the company, so you left first. William Walton's face darkened. After breakfast, Second Madam secretly asked me if Miss Green and you were truly lovers. It was because she was just testing Miss Green. That's why she said that she had eaten breakfast with you. But Miss Green did not seem to be unhappy at all. She felt that Miss Green did not seem to care about you that much, and also said that I was not supposed to tell you about it, to avoid your anger. William Walton's eyes were cold. I got it. You go and busy yourself. The butler left the study. William Walton picked up his phone and called Carol Wright. Carol Wright always picked up his phone very quickly. William, she said softly. William Walton coldly asked, Why are you lying today? Carol Wright was aggrieved. It really is all of good intentions. I feel that since you like Miss Green so much, if Miss Green is able to help you buy clothes, you would definitely be very happy. I'm not asking about that. I mean I had breakfast with you. Carol Wright frowned. She actually complained. She said depressingly, Is there anything to discuss on this matter? I really didn't think that Miss Green, who looks harmless, would actually do such a childish thing behind the scenes. In the morning, I didn't mean anything else. I just thought she didn't seem to care about you that much, so I wanted to help you test her. But it wasn't ideal. Later on, I asked her to accompany me on a shopping trip just to buy clothes for you under the guise of doing so. If it wasn't for the fact that you love her so much, I don't want you to be hurt emotionally. Why would I have to rack my brains to help her, and not try to please her? William Walton's voice was calm, but carried a sense of majesty. My woman, I like her, so naturally there is a reason why I like her. There is no need for you to probe. Everyone has their own personality. Your probing can't explain anything. If she's mad because I had breakfast with my sister-in-law, what is she? Wretched. She wasn't so rude. Also, I appreciate your good intentions, but don't use your way to help her. Our feelings don't need catalyst. I treasure this kind of love. This is the kind of girl she is. What I like is her calmness. On the other end of the phone, Carol Wright cried. Her hands tightly gripped the location of her heart as she cried. She didn't feel sad at all as she choked with emotions, unable to say a single word. William Walton frowned. In the past, whenever he saw her crying, he would compromise. But now? So it turned out that he had truly changed. All these years, I have never forgotten every single detail about us. The me back then, how could I have ever imagined that we would be where we are today? I could not help you, right? My intention is good. Don't tell me that you don't understand me as well. Carol, stop caring about me and just live your life properly. Since you are helping me like this, I won't be happy because of it. Because I feel that I have let down Jack. If you're not happy, then Jack will also be in pain. It was clearly a good intention, but it made all three of us unhappy. Jack loves you. As long as you turn around, you can see the way he looks at you. Don't be entangled with the past anymore. Only by letting the past go can you face the future and the man who loves you. William Walton, leave the rest of your words to me. I am already an adult. I understand the principles behind everything, but I understand it is different from doing it. She hung up. William Walton placed his phone on the desk and stayed silent for a long time. He picked up his phone and called Jack Walton. Jack Walton, when are you planning to come back to pick her up? What's wrong? Jack Walton was calm. She can't stay here all the time. There's no hatred between husband and wife. I think it's normal to quarrel, but there has to be someone who gives in first, don't you think? William Walton sincerely felt that if he let Carol stay here, he would continue to find things difficult. After all, he didn't want to hurt her, but at the same time, he would definitely not allow anyone to make Laura feel bad. The only way was to send Carol right back. This time, I cannot give in, Jack Walton said in a bland voice. If I give way, then I really will have nothing left to lose. Jack Walton, what do you mean? What happened? She still didn't say anything. William Walton frowned and shook his head. No, Jack Walton sighed. Then let her continue living there. When she wants to say it, she will tell you. You just need to remember to arrange for people to take care of her living and eating. William Walton said helplessly. All right, I understand. He hung up the phone, his face dark. It was impossible to continue like this. He raised his eyebrows slightly. He had a plan. Chapter 204. Move with his wife. William Walton got up and left the study room. He went upstairs and returned to his room. She was reading a book under the covers with her legs crossed, swaying back and forth in satisfaction. This was really the cutest woman he had ever seen. Compared to those women who spent a lot of money to face him, who couldn't wait to put half a pound of powder on their faces, he really loved this kind of casual look. When she heard the commotion behind her, she didn't even look at him. William Walton walked over. Laura, I'll give you a notice. She turned the page while her eyes were still fixed on the book. I'm not listening. He sat down and got serious. Why are you so uncomfortable? Get up quickly. I can assure you that you will be interested. Then you have to pay me back for your sister-in-law's drinks first so I can listen properly. Otherwise, my heart will ache for those $400. She regretted it now. She was just a poor person. Why would she treat rich people to drinks just to vent her anger? You. William Walton glared at her, then stood up and picked up his wallet. He took out a card and handed it over to her. There's no limit to the amount. You can spend as much as you want. I don't want it. I want $400. Why are you so arrogant? This is the first time I've seen it. You don't even want the money. I don't want it. This isn't something I shouldn't have. William Walton went back and took $400 and gave it to her. She took it gently and sat up. She crossed her legs and pursed her lips as she smiled at him. Speak. What notice? Get off the bed quickly, pack up and head back to Big City Home. She stared at his face. Oh, he finally found her an eyesore, right? She got off the bed quickly and started to pack up her luggage. She had a long face and wanted to leave. She didn't want to live here anyway. As she packed, she felt like she was going to explode with anger. Cleaning up, she pulled up her luggage and seriously said, I've finished packing. Please go out. I'll leave after I finish changing. William Walton frowned. Why only take care of your own? How about mine? You really want to see me naked in front of you every day, don't you? Why should I pack up your things? Who told you that you were the only one to return to Big City Home? I will go with you. After staring at his face for a long time, she finally asked, What? Then what are you going to do? How would I know? Aren't you going to let me go if you find me eyesore? William Walton endured laughing. So, you were just angry. Did you think that I wanted to kick you out? Who says I'm angry? I'm happy. I can finally go back to my own little nest. That's my property, too. I signed the contract and paid the rent, she said, staring at him. William Walton raised his eyebrows. All right, then after I go, I will pay the rent and quickly pack up a few sets of clothes. She pursed her lips and stared at him. What are you planning to do? Why are you going to the Big City Home? At that time, Benjamin will be living in school, and you will be in the Big City Home. Then Carol would be the only one left in the villa? It is to deliberately alienate her. She is a woman with a family, and she is always separated from her husband. It is not appropriate for her to live here. Besides, some people always be jealous. So, rather than all three of us living in discomfort, I decided that it would be better for me to fish some people out of jealousy and take her out to live our own life. If you don't mock at me, will you die? She stared at him. He pinched the tip of her nose with a mischievous smile. I told you, when you're jealous, I'm the happiest. She stared at him. William Walton. All right, I won't say any more. Quickly go and pack up my things. He patted her on the shoulder and said, I'll wear whatever you're packing. If you don't pack for me, don't blame me wandering around naked. She was truly speechless. Is this all right? What's wrong? I'm not even afraid of being seen through by you. Do you have anything to worry about? What I mean is we all left, leaving the Miss Right here? Then do you want to go back or not? I've always wanted to, especially. Then why are you still wasting time? Pack up. He was truly like a dog biting the hand of a kind man. He was unable to recognize the good intentions of others. Packing up her things, she would pack her things. Since she was not the one who was sad, she did not care about it anymore. At noon, the two of them came down from upstairs. William Walton said to the butler, send someone upstairs to carry Laura's luggage down to load the carriage, and have Mike send us to Big City Home. The butler was worried. Young master, are you going to stay with Miss Green? What, is there something else? Second, madam. Just tell her the truth. Only then did the butler reply respectfully. All right. Mike sent the two of them back to Big City Home. William Walton left the car keys and let Mike go back first. Returning to her home that she had not seen for a long time, she felt comfortable. She directed William Walton to bring the bedding out to the balcony to bask it in the sun. William Walton grumbled, in the entire world only you dare to order me to do crude work. How can you be so shameless? This is not rough work, a grown man to do this kind of thing. Is it appropriate for you to nag on and on about it? She raised the mop in her hand. That's crude work. I think you've forgotten about my image. Didn't you say that your image is different in front of me? Since it's different, why can't I order you to work? She pointed to the kitchen. Get me a cup of water. I want some warm ones. William Walton stared at her, but he still went to the kitchen. As she looked at William Walton's back, she couldn't help but snicker. She still liked to live like this. After the weekend ended, Carol Wright did not call William Walton to denounce him for his crimes, which surprised him a little. On Monday morning, the principal called Laura and Mia into his office. After consultation with the school leadership, the two of them were awarded a prize of $1,000 each for their valiant rescue on Friday. The one who was rewarded was Benjamin Walton, but because Benjamin went to participate in the basketball game, the prize money was given to him by the counselor, Laura. At noon, Mia said that she would go out with her for a meal and suppress her shock on Friday. Laura said yes. The two of them went to eat a hot pot. When they finished eating and walked out of the hot pot restaurant, Laura saw a clothes store. Thinking about the 4 sets of men's clothing on Saturday, she pursed her lips and said to Mia, who had already walked a few steps away, Teacher Mia, you can go back first. I need to go buy some things. Do you want me to accompany you? No need. I'll be back soon. She took a taxi to the downtown area and walked into a men's clothing store. Chapter 205. Carol Wright was pregnant. In the afternoon, when she was busy, she received a call from Carol Wright. Carol Wright said that she was waiting for her outside the school. There was something she wanted to talk to her about. When they were about to leave, Carol Wright got off the car and smiled at her. She looked at the camel's fur coat on Carol Wright's body and paused her steps. Wasn't this the coat that was sold in advance at the women's clothing store that day? So, it turns out that William Walton did not buy it for her, but for his sister-in-law. That day, the shop assistant had clearly said that the Mr. Walton had ordered this set of clothes for her beloved woman. Beloved woman. Men, the ability to flatter the left and right was truly amazing. When he wanted to bring her out to stay, he said that he wanted to distance himself from Carol Wright on purpose. She still believed in him. But the result? It would only be more convenient if he could take her out and occasionally return to accompany Carol Wright. Carol Wright walked over. At a time like this, no matter how sad she was, it wouldn't be good for her to act up. After all, the person who accepted the gift was not wrong. She calmed her expression and said to Carol Wright, Miss Wright, what important matter do you have? You must come here at this time specially to find the school. Carol Wright pursed her lips and laughed good-naturedly. I was thinking of you are going to see William after work, so it's better if I don't waste your time. Miss Green, I overthought things the day before yesterday. It was my problem. I didn't communicate with you in advance. I only wanted to surprise you guys. In the future, I won't act on my own initiative anymore. Carol Wright said as she reached out to hold her hand. Can you forgive me? Miss Wright, did you come to find me today just to talk about this? If that's the case, then I feel that you don't have to keep this matter in your heart anymore. That day, I accepted your good intentions, and the reason why I didn't cooperate with you was because I felt that I don't want to lie to him. Carol Wright nodded her head. All right, then I will turn the page. I came to find you today, but actually, I just wanted to talk to you. There are some things that I feel very uncomfortable with the pressure in my heart. She couldn't be trying to talk to her about the matter between her and William Walton, right? She really couldn't understand this woman. Even though she knew that she was William Walton's girlfriend, she still wore the expensive clothes that William Walton gifted her to come and see her. Was that okay? If it was her, she definitely wouldn't do such a thing. And this bastard William Walton, if the two of them really can't let each other go, then they will love each other with all their might. Why would they treat her and Second Master as fools? She bit her lips. I feel that I might not be suitable to be the big sister who knows the hearts of you. After all, I'm not some reasonable person. However, for William, you are well informed and kind. I feel that there are some things that I need to talk to you more relievedly than anyone else. I'm not as good as he says. You don't need to believe his words too much. After all, a man's words don't have much credibility. Miss Green, I came to find you. You? Are you unhappy? She closed her eyes and breathed out. No, I'm just a little busy. If there's nothing else, I'll go back first. After she finished speaking, she nodded towards Carol Wright and turned around to return to school. Carol Wright lowered her eyes and said with a low voice, Miss Green, I'm pregnant. She suddenly stopped on the spot and felt his mind explode. Pregnancy? Carol Wright had specially come to tell her about this. Could it be that she was carrying William Walton's child? Thinking of this, her heart tightened as she clenched her fists tightly. No, William Walton was not someone with no bottom line. She was his sister-in-law. Maybe he would buy her some expensive clothes, but no matter how much he loved Carol Wright, he wouldn't hurt his own brother. On this point, she had absolute faith in William Walton. She turned around and looked at her. Congratulations, Miss Wright. Carol Wright heaved a heavy sigh. But I don't feel happy. This is something worth congratulating. Because of this child, I and Jack have had a huge argument. This is the first time since we were married. Pregnancy is a good thing. Why did you fight? Actually, it can't be said to be a fight. It's my fault, messing around with Jack, she said with a helpless look on her face. I don't want to give birth to this child, but Jack said that I must give birth to this child. She felt puzzled. There must be a reason why you don't want to have children. You've also seen our situation. Jack's legs are crippled, so it's inconvenient for him to move around. Given the current situation, having a child is not a good thing for us. In such a family, could this also be a reason to give up a child? She thought for a while and said, but there are a lot of servants at home. Even if you have children, it won't be too hard for you. Since I give birth, of course I want to take care of him myself. If I were to raise him, I wouldn't be able to care about Jack anymore. Furthermore, I really don't want the world to laugh at my child after he was born. He will have a handicapped father. Those who would mock others like this most likely do not have high standards of character. They do not have any bottom line to being a person. Why do you care about the ridicule of such a person? I don't care. But what about my children? Carol Wright shook her head. I am worried that the child will be injured because of Jack's leg. If that day really comes, Jack will be injured because of the child as well. So you quarreled about it? Carol Wright lowered her eyes and said bitterly. I did not tell him my concerns. I do not want Jack to know that I care about all these. He will be sad. After all, since I chose to marry him, I will not care about his legs. He thought, it's because I didn't let go of my previous feelings that I have to give up on this child. It's because of this. I'm really sorry, Miss Wright. I don't know how to comfort you regarding this matter. After all, this is your family's matter. To your family, I am just an outsider. I understand. She let out a sigh of relief. I was just so conflicted and felt like I was going crazy every day. I also couldn't find anyone who could help me with anything. But when I thought about it later, William was at the side of his brother, and I couldn't open my mouth to tell him. Miss Green, honestly, during the most painful time in my life, I never felt so conflicted. You're a smart person, so I really want to ask, if you were me, what would you do?